Hello, my name is Dante Renee, and welcome to the 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page. This is the page where I talk about movies that I believe are not being talked about enough. And tonight's film is the 1973 The Cheerleaders. Here it is, folks. It says right here, come and huddle with the cheerleaders. This is the Code Red Blu-ray, and this is actually a limited edition Blu-ray that was released a little bit ago, and it's still in print, and you can buy it off of screenarchives.com website, their Code Red section. And this is the back of the Blu-ray. Now, this movie, 1973, and the actual card at the end credit says 1972, so it's probably released in 73. This particular film is long out of print on a North American release DVD with some of the Cheerleaders sequels. You can get it on a Region 2 DVD, which I believe is also now probably out of print. But with this Code Red limited edition Blu-ray release, it looks like on Amazon there are also some DVD releases, regular DVD North American releases, possibly also by Code Red, that have now been released for this as well. I'm not sure if they're DVD-Rs, but I don't believe they are. Nonetheless, this is the way to go for this film because it was actually the original negative, an HD transfer from the original negative. Also, a commentary on here with the director and one of the screenwriters. And there's also a Katerina Bucket List Theater on here as well. That is pretty wild for Katerina, as if she was drunk or something. She introduces the film and gives you some facts about it. Not many, because this is quite a mysterious film. This is The Cheerleaders, folks. There is a cheerleader subgenre of film, and this is, in my opinion, the kingpin of them all. You have to also understand that this film was kind of in the front runner of the cheerleader genre in many ways, because there were sequels that came after. Code Red has Return of the Cheerleaders, which I'll be looking at on this page in the future, and there were Swaying Cheerleaders, and there were all these cheerleader films, and some other ones that I've reviewed on this site so far. But this one was really kind of the beginning in a lot of ways. Let's go first with the music for this film. The music for this film is really unbelievable. And on the Blu-ray, turn it up on your sound system or on your television or sound bar and listen to it loud. You got it all in here, folks. You got the awesome 70s songs with vocals. There's one title track that's kind of on the menu screen, and also ending credits. It's feel good, it's summer, it's California sounding. It's the kind of thing you want to blast. It almost sounds like the Pinball Summer soundtrack a little bit, a movie I'll be looking at also in the future on this website. And you also got just really groovy, almost porno type music from the 70s in here also. You have just a wide range. You even have some Mexican music that goes with what's happening in the scene. You have so many different just awesome groovy sounds that really aren't repeated in the film, but even the ones that are repeated, you just want to hear them again. So you got tons of groovy 70s awesome, almost sexy porno type music, also groovy type music that you might hear in like a blaxploitation type film, things like that. Now, what about the style with the cinematography? Now, when you look at the opening credits of this film, you see that there's a good number of editors in this movie, which is quite interesting. But when you watch the film, my gosh, there is so much style in this movie. The cinematography is awesome, but it's extremely sleazy. It really captures the cheerleaders' body parts and every ounce of voyeuristic looking you could possibly get, which is perfect for this film and for the girls themselves. But what about, even more of the style, the cinematography, and the editing? My gosh, there are some awesome fades, some awesome swipes in this film. Really stylistic, really cool, like, and if you remember Tarantino's Death Proof movie using the record, to kind of go in between scenes, this film is utilizing that. We're also utilizing some weird backwards, slow motion pauses on some of the scenes, some really stylistic, crazy choices. There are also some sped up sequences, in fast motion, and there's slow motion. There's just a lot of wild editing and cinematography that really adds to the playfulness and awesome energy energy of this film. And I want to say that right off the bat. This film flows. It reminds me almost like the dialogue has a rhythm, the action has a rhythm, the sex has a rhythm, the scene to scene to scene to scene. This film does not overstay any ounce of its welcome at all. It is a high energy, just blast from scene to scene to scene to scene. It just keeps going, and it has this high energy flow. It almost reminds me modern days of a Tarantino film in many regards, you know, of the way he has a rhythm to his movies. Just awesome. Now, the environments, and this is pure California right here. You know, if you're in the winter, wherever you are in the world, if it's cold, you watch this movie, you're in California. You can see the mountains on the football fields in the background. You know, the car wash, the drive, you know, the drive-throughs, everything. It's just California, sunny, warm, mountains, palm trees. I mean, it's just, even when you're inside of a house, the windows are open, it's beautiful outside all the time. I mean, this is pure California. We get some you know, some cool houses that have some real cool 70s retro type vibes in there. See some records in there, some trophies, some weird stuff. We even have some weird shots in here too, some funny weird shots like of a stuffed animal, and just some really, you know, you could tell that they were really artistically going for major style in this film, and also sky's the limit, do whatever the heck they feel like. And it all adds to the energy and the fun of the film. There's also a really wild environment of, like, almost reminds you of, like, you know, the 60s spy films with these neon lighting and a waterbed and a crazy movie screen in the bed, and all of this stuff. I mean, there's a really wild, like, environment, a house, whatever, with double doors. And there's also somebody dressed up in a bear costume in there, and there's quite a chase that goes on. There's a lot of stylistic stuff dealing with just some swipes and fades from scene to scene, something involving, you know, bubbles erupting onto the screen in a sexual way that deals with the film. Also, stay tuned for a movie, some movie shots that go with the flow of the movie, the dialogue in the film, from I Drink Your Blood, a Grindhouse classic. So that's also in the film. Now, this film deals with actually quite a bit of different storylines. One of them in particular, of course, is sexual awakening. We have a group of cheerleaders who are definitely just, I mean, they can have sex with anyone, anywhere, at any time, and use that sex to get what they want. And sometimes that relates to their team, to their home team. Also, we have a new cheerleader who's a virgin, and we have her try to basically joining the cheerleading squad, and she is also getting a sexual awakening as this film comes in. So it's almost like a coming of age film for her character. We also have elements of basically we have awesome characters in this film. We have a you know, a creepy janitor who also has like a side gambling ring. We have a guy who works the drive-through who sells drugs. He also does gambling, and he also has a lot of influence in the high school where he's basically, you know, makes sure certain things happen or don't happen. And these are high school cheerleaders. Do these girls, you know, these girls right here, these are the actual girls that are in the movie. That's a pretty wild thing for a movie poster, right? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These 6 girls actually look young, and they look like they could be in high school, and they're all, you know, sexually attractive. They're all erotic. They all look great. Their bodies, their faces, even the ones that you might be a little rougher looking or something, they all fit perfectly. I mean, we got everything in here, folks. This is a wild, wild movie. These girls' bodies are on display, and of course, if they're the cheerleaders for the film, they really got to carry this film, and they really do. The acting is awesome, especially for the coming of age girl who is right there. She is really an awesome actress, but they all carry their weight. Now, the crazy thing about this film is that it feels like you're watching a porno at times, but there's no real sex in the film as far as you're concerned explicitly, but you are seeing everything. You're seeing full-blown nudity, bush, butt, boobs, everything. You're seeing tons of the sex scenes actually have humping in them, so it really feels like you're watching a porno at times. But it also has definitely the total vibes of the teen sexploitation, teen sex comedies of the 70s and the 80s, and has that innocence in them as well. So it's a really wild mix with also a lot of different fun hijinks and storylines. So how do you mix all those things together? The Cheerleaders does it extremely well. This is a very sexual film, a very erotic film, and it works completely because these girls look awesome. This is probably my favorite batch of cheerleaders in any of the cheerleaders films. Not probably, it is. Um, these girls are great. They're all in the back there as well, and there are obviously tons of things in here. We have all the taboos sexually. I mean, we have older men going after supposed 16-year-old girls, 13-year-old girls, janitors going after the girls, smelling shirts, smelling underwear. We have a lesbian gym teacher who gets involved sexually with one of the high school cheerleaders. Tons of stuff here. If you like feet, if you like legs, if you like panties, I mean, these girls' cheerleading outfits are the shortest I've ever seen. The edits and the opening title sequence is wild. Freeze frames, stills, right at the opportune moments, if you catch my drift, with where the titles are coming in. I mean, it just looks amazing. You know from the first 5 minutes of this film what you're getting yourself into, and it's a wild sexual high school cheerleader exploitation vibe going on here. This is definitely my favorite cheerleader film. Just an awesome. I can't wait to watch the commentary on this thing. This is put out by Code Red. This is just a wild, wild movie. And like I said, these girls lead it and they're great, but there's a lot of mystery about this film. Nobody really knows the real names about these girls. Nobody knows a lot of information about these actresses. It's almost similar to to Bloodsucking Freaks, where they kind of like went off the map. This is the only movie they ever did. They were using aliases, stuff like that. So I'm hoping that there's some information in the commentary here because I definitely want to know about it. This is an awesome, if you like the really, really sleazy cheerleader film, this is number one that I've seen so far in my lifetime. This is it right here. It's definitely not rated, and it's 82 minutes, and you'll never be bored ever. And it's a wild film, very erotic, very sexual, and like I said, it has the porno vibe, but it also has the teen sex comedy vibe, and it also has kind of this innocent hijinks vibe also, with really well staged, sped up sequences of fun craziness, and let's just say sex is the core tool that these very these powerful cheerleaders use. So anyway, folks, wow, there's a lot of the old in and out going on in here, and the dialogue, I wanted to say that real quick, the dialogue in this film is pure 70s gold, the rhythm, the words, the sexual double entendres, the whole nine. It's very kind of like sexual dialogue, but it has a rhythm and a flow, yo daddy, yo, that kind of stuff. It's freaking awesome, especially at the drive-thru. Folks, this is the Cheerleaders 1973 right here, folks. Awesome, awesome movie. Cannot wait to watch this. The commentary directed by Paul Glicker, put out by Code Red on a limited edition Blu-ray. Get it on ScreenArchives.com, and it's about $30, so it's not cheap. I had to save up some dough for this one. And folks, thank you so much for watching the 10 Room Bizarre YouTube page. Check out all my reviews of movies that I do not believe are being talked about enough, and check out my own films at youtube.com/poopydiarrhea. Thank you and good night.